Welcome back to Points Travel Tech. I'm Kevin, and today we're flying on Air France's brand new Airbus A350 from Mexico City to Paris Charles de Gaulle in business class. This aircraft features their latest business class suites with sliding doors, wireless charging, and some sleek French design. I was super excited to try it out, but as you'll see, not everything worked exactly as it should. Let's dive into it. This journey actually started in Cancun. We took an early domestic flight to Mexico City with a long layover on purpose, just to make sure we didn't miss our connection on the brand new A350. First stop, the American Express Centurion Lounge, which is located before security. It was partially under renovation, but we still enjoyed restaurant-style table service, burgers, fries, the works. After security, Air France provides access to a lounge called Grand Lounge Elite. Sounds fancy, but it was hot and smelled like a deep fryer. Not exactly relaxing. So we used our priority pass to head into the Terrazza Lounge instead. Much smaller, but cool, quiet, and the staff were super friendly. A much better spot to relax before takeoff. Eventually, we made our way to the gate with some time to spare, only to realize we were standing right next to another priority pass lounge, the Lounge Mexico by Global Lounge Network. It's tucked away one floor down, and we thought, why not? Well, the elevator got stuck for 10 minutes on the way down, one floor. Trapped in a tiny metal box, let's just say we were very glad when those doors finally opened again. When boarding was called, we were among the first on the aircraft, and wow, this thing looked stunning. Everything still had that new plane smell, spotless surfaces, no visible wear and tear, and a beautifully sophisticated cabin design. Deep blue upholstery, clean white panels, and red accents, subtly nodding to the French flag. Très chic. We walked through the forward business cabin and made our way to row 10, the first row of the second business class section. Now, the first rows in each business class cabin are special. They offer extra legroom, and when I say extra, just wait till you see 10A. It's massive. I was able to reserve the middle seats in row 10, and to my surprise, we were only 3 passengers in the entire rear business cabin. Here's a quick peek at premium economy in the 242 configuration. Back to business class, here's seat 10 Delta. Already impressive. But look at 10 Alpha next to it. The footwell alone feels like it's first-class territory. Unfortunately, that seat was flagged as inoperative and couldn't be assigned, so I used it just for filming. A few more shots of this gorgeous cabin. And then it was time for a glass of welcome champagne and a smooth nighttime departure out of Mexico City. Before we dive into the sea tour, a quick thank you to today's video sponsor, Saily. If you travel internationally and want reliable, affordable data without the hassle, Saily is my go-to eSIM app. You install it once, and from then on, you can add new data packages with just a tap. No physical SIM cards, no QR codes, no drama. We relied on Saily heavily during our road trip across Quintana Roo, from Cancun to Cozumel and even Bacalar. We needed maps, translations, and a stable signal for the whole time, and Saily delivered. One thing I really appreciate is that it's more than just data. It includes built-in ad blocking, web protection, and even lets you choose a virtual location for extra privacy. It just works, and it works fast. Saily is available in over 200 countries and regions, and you can choose between local, regional, or global plans depending on your trip. If you want to try it out, use my code POINTSTRAVELTECH for 15% off your first eSIM. The link's down in the video description. Thanks again to Saily for supporting the channel, and now back to the A350. The view out of the window was already a highlight, because right there on the engine was my favorite airline logo of all time, the winged seahorse. It's called Hippocampe Ailé, and it dates back to the early days of French aviation in the 1920s. Do you have a favorite airline logo? Let me know in the comments. Now, let's take a closer look at Air France's newest business class seat. You get a massive 4K touchscreen loaded with entertainment and an equally massive footwell, especially here in row 10. There's a coat hook on the right side and a sliding door that closes at the push of a button for added privacy. The aisle side armrest can be raised and lowered for extra space or support. And while there appeared to be a drawer beneath the footwell, it was locked on this flight. Next to it though is a handy open compartment, perfect for shoes or a small bag. To your side, you'll find a wireless charging pad, 2 USB ports, and a universal power outlet. You also get a reading light and a detachable tablet for your in-depth seat controls built into the side panel. The cubby with the softly lit Air France logo contains a mirror, the noise-cancelling on-ear headphones, and the headphone jack. Below the padded side armrest are some quick-access seat controls, and of course, the tray table, large, solid, and easy to deploy. The extra-large windows are electronically dimmable, just like on the Boeing 787 Dreamliners. I'll show them in action a bit later. Now, while I was able to film this fantastic flagship seat, I couldn't actually sit in it during the flight. It was marked as faulty in the system. So I spent most of the journey in the middle seat 10D, which unfortunately had some issues. For instance, the headrest wouldn't lock into position, which can be seriously annoying, especially if you're tall like me. Not all functions of the in-seat tablet were working either, it kept crashing. And while the wireless charging pad technically worked, it was finicky. Just like on so many other planes. You have to line up your phone perfectly, and then you can't really use it while it charges, slowly. It looks modern, but in practice, it's not very practical. Shortly after takeoff, dinner service began with a hot towel. Feel free to pause here if you want to take a closer look at the menu on the screen. The meal kicked off with an amuse-bouche, a goat cheese ball with strawberries, macadamia nuts, and a mint vinaigrette. I'll be honest, not my thing. Next up, the starter, a mix of pumpkin, basil hummus, and marinated smoked salmon, served with mustard potatoes and a lemon chive vinaigrette. Visually impressive, taste-wise, just alright. My wife went for the beef tornadoes, crusted in pistachios. That one got a thumbs up. For my main, I chose the chicken supreme with herb butter and green curry sauce, paired with basmati rice, cumin carrots, and sautéed zucchini. That was actually really good, balanced flavors and cooked perfectly. We skipped the cheese and fruit course, but I couldn't resist the dessert. And just look at this, a rich, glossy dark chocolate cake served with chocolate curls. It was dense, decadent, and hands down the highlight of the meal. Now, unfortunately, as beautiful as the food was, the service really missed the mark. The front business class cabin was only half full, and we were just 3 people in the rear cabin. Still, we were barely acknowledged. No refills, no proactive service, just the bare minimum. It's a small thing, but a brand new cabin product like this, you kind of expect the soft product to match the hard product, and here it just didn't. After dinner, I headed to the business class lavatory, and I've got to say it was genuinely impressive. Everything was bright white and spotless, with a large wall mirror, built-in lighting, and even a circular magnifying mirror with a ring light. There were Clarins skincare amenities, a fold-down seat to help with changing, and, best of all, the whole setup was fully touchless. You waved to flush, to turn on the faucet, even to open the trash. Very modern, very hygienic. Thankfully, all that tech actually worked, which, let's be honest, is especially important in a restroom. On my way back to my seat, I noticed the crew had set up a small snack station near the galley. What I also noticed? My table was still uncleared, despite it being quite a while since the last course. So, while I waited for someone to come by, I decided to explore the in-flight entertainment system. The IFE is incredibly responsive. You can clearly tell it was built for this generation. You can minimize your movie to the corner while browsing the map, and those external A350 camera views looked stunning on the 4K screen. Bluetooth audio is technically supported, but it didn't work. Not with my AirPods Pro and not with my AirPods Max. Wi-Fi was available too. You get free messaging for everyone, but there's no complimentary access for business class passengers. And to be honest, the pay packages were pretty pricey. When it was time to sleep, I put the seat into bed mode, and it's a true lie-flat setup. Air France provides a proper pillow and blanket, along with slippers and an amenity kit that includes Clarin skincare products, socks, a toothbrush, earplugs, and an eye mask. No pajamas though, so I just wore the ones I got on my British Airways first-class flight from London to Mexico City. If you want to see when that review goes live, feel free to subscribe to the channel. It's free and you get notified. One thing that stood out, or rather didn't, was the lack of a mattress pad, which you typically expect on an overnight flight like this. Air France has since updated that and now offers a mattress topper in partnership with Sofitel on long-haul routes. Even in the middle seat, I had no trouble turning, stretching out, or finding a comfortable position. With the door closed, the seat felt very private, and I actually managed to get a few solid hours of sleep. A few hours before landing in Paris, the cabin gently lit up and the crew began the breakfast service. I slowly undimmed the electronic window shades, and that gave me one of my favorite views, the A350 wing gliding above the clouds as we began our descent into Europe. For breakfast, I chose the crepe with spinach, served alongside scrambled eggs with cheese, potato rösti, and button mushrooms. A surprisingly satisfying meal after a long night flight. Before long, we were descending into rainy Paris, touching down at Charles de Gaulle. Bienvenue à Paris. After immigration and a bit of a walk, we made our way to the Air France Business Lounge. And I have to say, for a Schengen domestic lounge, this area really impressed me. We headed straight to the showers, which were spacious, clean, and well appointed. One of the most sought-after features of the lounge is the free facial treatment you can get. But appointments are quickly booked out, and I couldn't get one. The free pour champagne had to suffice. As I rolled my suitcase through the lounge toward the exit, I had a moment to reflect. Air France's new A350 business class has a lot going for it. The seat is beautifully designed, the cabin looks fantastic, and the two first rows offer some of the best legroom you'll find in any business class seat. But the reality didn't quite live up to the promise. Between the faulty headrest, the unusable window seat, the missing functions of the tablet, Bluetooth that didn't work, and a crew that felt largely absent, it was a bit of a missed opportunity. Don't get me wrong, I still think this is one of the most elegant business class products visually, and I'd absolutely give it another shot, especially if I could score one of those front row seats again, which are usually reserved for status holders with Flying Blue. But I'd be hoping for a more polished experience next time. Don't forget to check out Saily and use the promo code PointsTravelTech for 15% off your first data plan. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this review, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment letting me know what airline you'd like to see me review next. In the meantime, check out this video. À bientôt, happy travels, and see you soon.